What's up, everyone? Aaron here, and today I'm going to be doing another sort of comparison double review by taking a look at the only two currently available Legends scale incarnations of one of my favorite characters, the Autobot scientist Wheeljack. So I'm going to be taking a look at ToyWorld's GS02 Whisky Jack and Iron Factory's IF EX-39 Hexwrench. So, before we get into all the specifics on both of them in bot modes, we'll take a look at their boxes and their accessories. So, here are their boxes, and one, as you can see, Whisky Jack's is very simple. You've just got a foam insert that he sits inside. There were no instructions in mind, but, I mean, he's pretty easy to figure out, and that's what you got. Hexwrench, being an Iron Factory product, is a little more impressive, but pretty standard for what they give you. Product shots, some color-coded product shots, more color-coded product shots, more product shots. You get the drill. So, if boxes are something that's important to you, well, there's a clear winner there. Now, accessory-wise, ToyWorld Whisky Jack is only going to come with his pistol and his shoulder weapon. And as you can see, he can hold that fine. It is just cast in whatever color plastic, but it's fully painted silver. Come on. But there's a little bit of detail. I mean, it looks fine. And as you saw, he can hold it fine. This piece can slot into either of these spots next to his shoulder, and same thing. A little bit of nice sculpted detail, but just painted up in silver paint. But looks good. And that's all you're going to get with him. Come on, buddy. What are you doing there? Stand up. Now, Hexwrench, as an Iron Factory figure, is going to come with a pretty good amount extra. First of all, you're going to get his pistol, which, as you can see, is just painted up in silver as well. It has some articulation if you need it, or if you need to, shoot up. But that's for weapon storage, which is always appreciated. And you also get his shoulder weapon. Buddy, come on. Come on, buddy. That was a bad Wheeljack. But it's pretty cool. I like this piece a lot. Again, just painted up in silver paint, but looks quite good. And you've got a ball joint here, so you can move it and angle it however you want as far as that goes. And you also have another joint right here, so where you can rotate it. And as you can see, the way it works is it just plugs in his back, as you saw. And, not technically on his shoulder, but I think it still accomplishes the same effect. Now, he will also come with a couple of pairs of alternate hands. He comes installed with his holding hands, gripping hands, whatever you want to call them. And all of these are just cast in the usual gunmetal plastic that Iron Factory likes to use. And they've got his knuckles painted in white, so it looks pretty good. He also will come with a pair of fists, closed fists in the same style, and a pair of open palm hands. And, as you would expect, it works the exact same way as most Iron Factories do. You just pull it out of the plug, and there you go. Swapped out with ease. He will also come with an alternate head, and it's exactly the same as the one I have on him right now. This is actually the one that comes installed on him, but he comes with this alternate one with his ears painted in metallic blue to simulate him talking. So, looks pretty good. But I like it. Let's start taking a look at these bots. And we'll start with Whisky Jack here, because he's a little simpler. But he's still fine. I still like him quite a bit. As you can see, he's very G1 stylized. You'll see that even more with his alt mode. I think he looks good. He cleans up pretty good. I like his backpack. The things he has like this and his, shoulder wings and stuff, they're not ideal, but I think they work and they give the desired effect of looking like Wheeljack. So, and he feels good. The plastic feels fine. And he's painted up pretty well, especially as you'll see, he's got a ton of tampografts in alt mode. But let's take a look at him, and he's got a pretty good little head sculpt here. Painted up in silver and blue, and I think the black is just the cast color of the plastic, so that's not painted. But it looks pretty good. As far as articulation goes, you're going to get this weird, because he's a very flat-headed figure, so you can straight up see the ball joint there. But you can get 360, and he can look up all day, all the way. These are not really going to move in this mode. You can move them that much. Ball joints for the arms, so what you would expect as far as that goes. Ball jointed elbows, very short forearms as well. Looks a little weird proportion-wise, but that's pretty much due to how he transforms. It's okay. I don't have a big problem with it, but it is a little weird looking. But that's all you can get with arm articulation. No waist or ab crunch, obviously. He can do the full splits, though, and can kick all the way forward and back. Knee's going to go to 90. He's got toe down, and he's got a pretty good rocker here. So, he's pretty posable. And yeah, I think he looks pretty good. So, obviously not perfect. Like I said, weird proportions. Very, it's the head's fine, but it's cheap in comparison, we'll say. But not a bad Wheeljack. And like I said, especially if you're going for the G1 look, this might be the one you actually prefer. Now, as far as Hexwrench goes, we'll take a quick look at his head sculpt here, since we looked at the other one, and you can see that blue paint on his ears, as I was talking about, and it looks quite good. And I just love all the paint apps that, stick with the Italian flag colors that he goes with. Got some nice silver gunmetal paint in here that they tend to do with some of their car bots. It makes it look like the vehicle actually broke apart. I actually really appreciate that. A little bit of baby blue on the headlights, more metallic paint. And interestingly, he does have Iron Factory actually on a spoiler. So I think Mirage has Iron Factory somewhere on him too, if I recall. But I think they're the only two that actually have the company's name on there. But yeah, looks really good, I think. He's my favorite of the two, but both of them have their merits. But let's go into articulation and head on a ball joint. So you're going to get up, a little bit of down, and you do get some attitude, and you can go 360 if you like. His wings are not going to move really in this mode. You can move them up a little further, but they're pretty much going to be, well, no, you can move them, I guess, down to there if you want. I don't know why you would, but you can. Ball joints here, so you know what to expect. You do get, well, give him a hand, people. It is on, you can move it up as far as that goes, from where it's on this hinge as well, the ball joint. Other than that, it's what you would expect from a shoulder ball joint. His arms are double hinged, or his elbows, shouldn't say his arms. His elbows are double hinged, so you can get that far with those. And his wrists do rotate from where they swap out. No ab crunch. Well, yeah, actually he does have ab crunch. I forgot. He does have a little bit of ab crunch here if you need it. So that's nice. 360 on his waist. T-ball joints at the leg, so what you would expect. He can Van Damme it, and he can kick all the way forward and back. Knees are going to go to there, 90 degrees. You have toe tilt as far as that goes, and down if you really want it, do transformation. You do have some heel spurs here that will help with his stability in standing. So that's your articulation. Obviously, Hexwrench is a more recent figure, so he is a lot better in that regard. But that's not to say that Whisky Jack is a total slouch. So, both got good options, depending on which one you can find. Let's do some size comparisons. So, for the comparison you all probably want in regards to the other two big third-party companies, here's how they stack up with a couple of New Age figures and a couple of Magic Square figures in my collection. And personally, I think they both work really well scale-wise with both brands. So, as sports cars, you would expect maybe Ratchet as a van, a little bit taller. Obviously, Optimus bigger. Obviously, Minibot's is going to be smaller. I think both figures fit the size scale with both of the G1 Legends brands, if you will, as far as the two main ones go. So, yeah, looks good in my opinion. Here they are with a couple of other brands and Unique Toys and Zeta Toys. For official comparisons, Core Class Optimus and Combiner Wars Legends Warpath, and don't think they work so well here, as you can see. But I highly doubt most of you are using Core Class Optimus as your Optimus in your Legends collection. He's a fun figure, but, anyway, that's a story for another day. And finally, here you go with Mechanic Studios, aka Make Fans Toys, and our boy, Iron Factory Runabout. And as you can see, these two share a lot of engineering similarities, if you didn't already know that. Alright, transformation time. Both these guys are pretty simple, so I'm just going to fly through both of them. And there you go for both of them. I'm going to cut away and make sure they're nice and cleaned up. and we'll take a closer look at their vehicles. So here are both of our Wheeljacks in alt mode, and I gotta say, I really like both of them personally. I mean, again, I'm a fan of the character, but I think they both look really good. Now, Iron Factory's kind of been running away with most of this, objectively, in my opinion, but this is the spot where Whisky Jack really gets to shine, in my opinion. If you are looking for a G1 looking Wheeljack for your collection, this is definitely him in alt mode. Looks pretty much exactly like the old Lancia Stratos, and as you can see, he is absolutely decked out here. There we go. In tampographies for sponsors, including Alitalia, the Italian airline. And he looks really good, in my opinion. Very clean on the bottom. Looks very nice as far as that goes. And he rolls just fine. Now, Hexwrench, he's, sort of comic stylized, so he's just sort of a generic Cybertronian sports car, I suppose. But I think he looks quite good myself. I really like the big angles of the hood here and everything. Kind of tells you there's probably a fairly big engine under there. I like how that looks, And I do like how it tapers off, the design does. So it's a very cool looking fictional sports car. Obviously, he's not decked out in tampos. He does have the racing number there and the Iron Factory on the spoiler, as I pointed out before. But as you can see here too, you really get to see a little bit more of this silver paint that they've used in parts for him. And looks good. He's got some beautiful metallic red rims, so those look awesome. And very clean on the bottom. So, he also has the option for weapon storage, and I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, so just fold the barrel down, and as you can see, he's got a little port right here where it will sit very snugly in there, like so. And obviously, he will still roll fine with that under there. Now, obviously, you also have the option to mount his shoulder weapon, if you like, in vehicle mode as well, since that port is obviously right there still. And it works pretty good. I like it. And like I said, you've got the options of him maybe driving around and shooting and stuff. Everyone knows Wheeljack as the scientist, the mad scientist sort of type, but did you know that he was also supposedly one of the Autobot's best drivers? That's right. That's straight from the G1 bio. Now, not to be outdone here, Whisky Jack can port this right here. There's a little hole right here on the top, and it will hold his back weapon if you want to. Not really a lot you can do with it. You can kind of angle it a little bit just to the way it sits in there, but that's about it. And unfortunately, as far as I know, no weapon storage for this. Doesn't seem to be anywhere where you could plug that in. So that's okay though. I'm still pretty happy with both of these figures. But there you go. I think they both look really good in vehicle mode. It's just a matter of which you prefer. Let's do some comparisons. And here they are with my usual car comparisons. We've got Magic Square, New Age, Iron Factory, Run Amok, and Commander Wars, Hasbro, Legends class. And yeah, they scale pretty well with all of them. So they look good. All sports cars, so it is what you would expect, right? So, final thoughts on ToyWorld's Whisky Jack and Iron Factory's Hexwrench. I like both these figures a lot, obviously. I mean, I'm a fan of the characters, so that's some bias there, but both of them look pretty good in both modes. The transformations are pretty intuitive and easy and fun for what they are. And I don't really think you can go wrong with either one in your G1 Legends collection if that's what you're looking for. I collect Iron Factory totally separate because I'm a big comic fan, so I like having these two different continuities in my collection, if you will. So Whisky Jack actually still sits with all of my G1 Legends and New Age and Magic Square and Mechanic Studios and such. But I don't think you can go wrong with either one as far as using them for that. And that's about as far as it goes, as far as my favoritism goes. Objectively, it's pretty clear that Hexwrench is the better figure. Um, He's also a little bit newer, so he has that going in his favor. But yeah, pretty objectively, it's clear he's the better figure. But again, it's your choice. If you're looking for either one of these guys, I hope this review helped you out. And hopefully, like I said, we'll get that New Age or Magic Square Wheeljack sometime in the future to give us a true updated G1 Wheeljack for Legends collections. So, that's going to do it for the review. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and have a good one. Till next time.